finally. John, thank you for coming through.
It's my pleasure.
Dude, this been 2 Fridays in the making, right?
You know? But I feel like all great things have that kind of same sort of anticipation, you know?
Anticipation.
Like,
Patience.
yeah.
Patience is key. So
There
you were
go.
supposed to come here 2 Fridays ago.
I was.
You ended up getting sick.
I did.
Thank you for letting me know. Heads up.
Yes, sir.
And then we rescheduled for the Friday after, but then a religious holiday that I did not know about.
That's all good. That's all good. That's all good.
But anyways, 2 Fridays later, third Friday is the charm, right?
Here we are.
Third time's the charm.
And here we are.
And thank you for coming through. So
It's my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
No, dude, it's my pleasure, man. Oh man, dude, this is gonna be an awesome podcast. so episode 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Mach 5.
Mach 5. But
not the razor blade.
that's for all the superhero fans out there.
You know what I'm saying?
But so also I have to give a shout out to my friend Simon, who made the introduction beat. So it's been 5 episodes later till I thank him.
Better late than never, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. 5 episodes later, and yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon. You met him already before. It's
Have
a
I?
Tall Chinese guy.
Cool.
You want to steal his shoes.
I did. You're right. I did. I almost did too.
And then there's also my friend Keaton. I want to shout out to Keaton for
What's
making.
up, Keaton? Thank you.
Thank you for making the logo.
Yeah.
Shout out. So it's like it's late, but better late than never.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Exactly. So perfect. So we spoke at the gym earlier, and you're
Yes.
telling me you're working on a project.
I am. I actually shot most of it already.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the midst of working on a book.
Book? Oh my God, awesome, man.
Yeah. It's 40 years in the making, really. I mean, I'm not 40 yet, but it feels like it's been 40 years in the making.
Dude, I can't tell. You look like you're in your mid 30s.
Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that, man.
No, I appreciate it.
I work hard, man. I work hard.
Dude, I see you at the gym every day, grinding away, working hard, super focused. You got the razor eye focus, razor sharp.
Dead eye. You know?
Like you say hi, what's up, smile,
Yep.
and then back into
That's
the
it.
zone.
That's it.
Gym zone.
Oh, look at that. Hey,
Oh,
nice
another
segue,
plug.
guy. Boom, man.
But yeah, so you're telling me you're working on a project, and you
Yes.
caught my interest. And obviously, I was already interested. I always wanted you to be on my show, but you told me this is a surprise.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, I'm like this. And you said you wanted to share the surprise on the podcast. So
Definitely.
I really appreciated that. And so now the floor is yours. So what is the project that you've been working on?
The project I've been working on was a self-story. No, can't call it a self-story. I was diagnosed bipolar 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Voluntarily, too.
Voluntary.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, how did you know that you had the symptoms? You know what I mean? Hopefully it wasn't through Google.
Yeah, for real.
Because
Huh?
we tend to diagnose ourselves a lot. I'm
You
like,
know?
oh, I hurt my toe. Oh my God, you got liver cancer. I'm like, what? I'm like this.
Well, I guess to my internal Google.
Internal
And when I
Google,
say that, Mo, I mean, I never felt right.
Okay.
And no matter how old, no matter what the situation, no matter what was going on in my life, I never felt like I fit. I always found something wrong. I didn't perceive things the way other people did. I thought way too much about way too many things. And it would take me for days. Like, case in point, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
We're with a bunch of our friends. We're coming home from a party, whatever, having a great time.
Yeah.
We're waiting at a stoplight. Let's say 2-3 cars deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a crew or a caravan. We're rolling, You look to your left. You look to your right. It's not a soul in sight, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's around. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So why in God's name are we sitting here staring at a red light?
Yeah. Like you
And
could
most people would not even think about that kind of thing. They'd be like, oh, whatever, wait for red light to turn red.
because it's a
green,
law,
and
right?
boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're brainwashed,
Yeah.
right? Traffic lights were designed to keep flow going because there was too much of a volume,
Okay.
right? Because, common sense tells you, if I look to the left, I look to the right, there's nobody coming.
Yeah.
Why can't I just go?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
like
understand.
it's the law, right?
It's the law.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
So again, it's 3 a.m. Why are we not rolling?
Mm.
Because we're brainwashed.
Okay.
We don't even realize we're brainwashed. And that's just a small token of it.
Yeah.
I found myself thinking about things like this,
Mm.
and as minute and sometimes idiotic it might sound,
Yeah.
the fact remained that I knew it was different. I
Okay.
knew something about this was definitely not, normal, for lack of a better term. I mean, what is normal,
No.
right? But I knew I was different.
Okay. Something was up.
Something was definitely up,
And you were trying to figure out what was up.
right?
Exactly.
Self-medicated heavily from the age of about 13 on,
Okay.
alcohol, drugs,
Okay.
to try to cover up and mimic, which is a common occurrence in teenage and,
Exactly. We're young and, our emotions are all over the place. And any way
Exactly.
to not make us feel a certain way, we would try to escape.
or to not feel at all.
And not to feel, exactly. And that's why we, take those drugs.
Exactly.
Or take any form of way to just numb ourselves.
There you go.
Numb the feeling so we're not thinking.
This is it.
Yeah.
So this went on for years. And being Irish, they throw a lot of these sayings at you. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you have an Irish temper. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just because you're Irish. It's just because you're red-blooded. It's just because you're this. You're just because you're...
It's just people finding excuses just because I don't know the term, but if you could fill me in, but it's just, I feel like it's a sense, just to give an example, damn man, why is not coming? But just people say things just based on without actually reading upon it, or just
right.
based on culture or any
Ignorance.
something. Ignorance. Yeah, okay, there. That was the word I was looking for. Based on ignorance, right? It's like instead of getting to know you as a person, they're just basing you on a whole society
This
where
is it.
without any
And
real
we do it to
explanation.
each other.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it just happens.
Right? Like, because nobody wants to address their inner cycle or
Yeah.
their inner emotions. So they'll just tell you, it's just this, it's just that.
Yeah,
Because God forbid they see a bit of themselves in that.
yeah.
Nobody wants to
Ever admit there's something wrong?
right? Or be associated with that, or think to themselves, maybe that could be me. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
God forbid.
It's like, don't make me question my sense of who I am, because
That's
I know
right.
who I am.
That's right.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, I bartended and went through all the other regular processes of running from the real,
Issue.
situation,
Yeah.
right? So this led me through my early 20s.
Early 20s.
Got married.
Yeah.
And then when my wife had said to me, well, John, we are expecting.
Yeah.
That was the brink for me. That
Yeah.
was the moment when I said to myself, okay, this is no longer my problem. I had dealt with parents who were alcoholics,
Okay.
substance abusers,
Yeah.
used many of life's excuses
Excuse.
to get away with things or not have to deal with things,
Yeah.
or their emotions for that matter.
Okay. And where did you grow up, if you don't mind me asking?
I grew up in Verdun and LaSalle.
Verdun and LaSalle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and pretty much both of my parents had divorced when I was very young.
Okay, so moving back and forth.
Yeah,
Okay.
my father lived actually not far from here, and
We won't say where.
right.
all those YouTube trolls will be sending people at my house.
Yeah,
They're like, what are you talking about, man? You guys are crazy. Like this. Well, like if you think it's crazy, you shouldn't listen.
or maybe grab the mic and have the discussion with us too.
Exactly.
Like
Instead of just being their keyboard guys.
hiding behind the keys.
It's like, yeah, you could say whatever you want. But anyway, so you in Verdun. and LaSalle.
Verdun, LaSalle.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Weekends in LaSalle. During the week was at home with mom in Verdun.
Yeah.
That actually was a good part
Okay.
of growing up in terms of I had to constantly adapt.
Adapt. So you're never in a point where you just got comfortable.
Never.
Okay, and that's
Never.
good. Exactly. I feel like that's how we should be living, because as soon as you get comfortable,
It's over.
it's over. Because
done.
as soon as something unexpected happens, what do you do then? You don't know what to do, because you're so used to be just in a situation where you feel relaxed, control. Life's always changing, and
Constantly.
and you have to be adapting 24/7.
This
I
is
know
it.
it seems like a lot of work, but what's the most rewarding things in life? The things that you work hard for.
Anything worth having is worth fighting for.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you kept moving back and forth.
right. Also developing two different cliques of friends,
Yeah.
which was also another eye-opening experience.
Yeah, giving you perspectives.
This is it.
Exactly.
So yeah, from there, like I said, 28, about to have a baby.
Okay.
Wife says to me, we're pregnant. I love that term.
We're pregnant.
Because it's true.
Yeah,
I mean, as much as she carried that, like
you have to deal with it. You have to help her.
There's so much
You
else
can't just
going
run
on.
away.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it's so intense.
Yeah. So all the eating she did, you had to do the same amount of eating.
Of course. The sympathy eating was amazing. It was, I can't lie. It was a lot of fun. Because you tell yourself, "Oh, it's okay. We're pregnant," right? That term, "we're pregnant." You know, it's great. It's like we're drinking. Oh, we're drinking. Okay, great. Let's do it. You know.
No, you have a baby. You're not alled drinking.
This is it, right?
I could drink.
But that term, that we're, you know, like
exactly.
it's inclusive, so it's good. You know. It's like we're streaking. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm streaking? No. Hold on.
No. Exactly. Okay, so
anyways.
so you're expecting a kid.
So I'm expecting a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not only experiencing some mental stress, but I'm also feeling a physical aspect of things. And I'm not quite sure if it's the sympathy eating
Yeah.
or the supplements.
Yeah.
A lot of creatine. I was doing a lot of powerlifting back then.
Okay.
I hadn't touched any steroids yet by that point.
Okay. So you did dabble.
Oh, definitely.
But anyways, we'll get back to that. Another story.
So I couldn't pinpoint where this physical pain was coming from. You
Okay.
know? I addressed my head first.
Yeah.
Because that was my biggest priority. I made an appointment and voluntarily walked into the Douglas Hospital.
Okay.
Sat down and said, "Look, I've had voices in my head since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's unsettling. It's disturbing. I've had some serious psychotic events. You know, my police record showed as well that I had definitely done some things that were not
the best things.
Yeah.
But I feel like we go through things in our life, you know.
For sure.
It's either, you know, a lot of people, they fall down and don't like getting back up, you know, and then just continue on this way. But from, you know, meeting, being acquainted with you, it doesn't seem like you ever fell down.
I fell down so many times, Mo, and it's funny. More often than not, it's when people run from their emotions that they usually fall down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Meaning drugs, alcohol, obesity, you know, like
yeah.
It all stems from that same, you know, running from something, you know.
But you kept getting back up though.
No choice.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny. Anybody who meets me at first, they'll be like, "Oh, John, how are you? You know, I'm good. You know, no choice."
Yeah.
And that's always my answer. No choice. And people say to me, "Well, John, that's really negative. Like, you can't say that, no choice, you know?" And I'm like, "Well, no, when you've fallen down as many times as I have, I have no choice anymore. I have to get back up."
Exactly.
You know, because that's the only real way around life.
Yeah.
Like, is to get back up and go, "Okay, that sucked, right? But I learned from it. It won't happen again."
Yeah.
You know, you brush yourself off and you keep moving, you know?
Keep moving forward.
That's right. And every time I've fallen, and Lord knows I have fallen, and sometimes I've tripped myself to fall, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, makes
you know, I mean, 2 suicide attempts, you know, that wasn't anybody putting a gun to my head. That was me swallowing way too many pills and
just to run away from
trying to run away from my emotions.
Like you didn't want to get up at that time.
That's it.
But props to you. You're here speaking with me. So handshake.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know those things are scary, those thought process.
Huge. And I'd be lying to you, Mo, if I said to you that I still don't have those thoughts, because I do. I mean, it's
just a battle you keep fighting.
That's right.
But
it never goes away. It's like when they say someone's an alcoholic for life. Like once you're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same concept. I will struggle with being suicidal my entire life.
But you have to find ways how to battle those things.
That's right. Positive thoughts.
Because I know it's very easy saying, "Oh yeah, man, think positive." You know, it's fine. No, it's hard. But you have to work hard for it.
This is it.
It's the same way where I see you at the gym, always working really hard. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And so you're training yourself, because it doesn't happen overnight where, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be positive tomorrow." No. It's like you have to keep reminding yourself.
That's right.
You know, there's so much more to life. Let me appreciate every chance. You know, like it sounds cheesy, but you wake up in the morning, you have a shelter over your head, you're breathing,
100%,
and you know, shit could be worse. You know,
right?
And what's going on around the world?
Hello, it's crazy. Like it's amazing how, and it's so funny you say that, Mo, because we have never been more aware of what's going on in the rest of the world. Yet we have never also been more narrow-minded about what's going on in the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Like society's become so self-centered. I mean, everything we do begins with the letter I.
Yeah.
Has anybody even thought about that for a second? Like iPhone, iPad, I this, I that. It says I in the beginning for a reason.
Dude,
like,
honestly, I did not think about that, but damn, that's a good point.
But that's the whole point about it, is for us to stop thinking about we and thinking only in terms of I.
Yeah.
I know not many people caught that, but it's the reality of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to discuss the whole bitten apple issue either, because that's a whole other conversation. Like, you know, Adam and Eve bit the apple, bit an apple for the signal.
See, dude, man. That's some that's some good stuff. Honestly, yo, see, dude, you're thinking the right way, man. I'm letting you know you're thinking the right way. But anyways, for people there, these are all perspectives. You know, you don't have to take everything we're saying, and this is just conversation. You know, and it's just life never stops. You keep learning.
That's right.
When you stop learning,
it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah, so these are all perspectives. So anyway, sorry, John. So go back to your story. So you said, you you went to the Douglas Hospital. You checked yourself in.
Yeah.
And so then what happened after?
Well, through 6 months of rigorous tests.
Yeah.
Because the process is not simple.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you have to do? Like
a lot of blood tests, a couple MRIs, a CAT scan.
How long?
Which I found unnecessary, but anyways, I'm no doctor, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, after all that, 6 months later, they said, "Okay, Mr. Babb, you know what? You're right. You know, you have a serotonin problem.
Okay.
You're bipolar. You know, phase 2.
So what is the bipolar phase 2, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my manics aren't as extreme in terms of they fluctuate, but
you could control.
I'm relatively functional.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and that's a relative term.
Okay.
Right? I mean, functional is functional to that random person. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like my functional and your functional might not be the same thing.
Exactly.
You know?
It might be two different.
Right. But
doing your regular thing without having those mood swings, like they won't really affect you when you're working or something like that?
They affect me all the time.
They affect you all the time?
All the time.
Okay.
And the gym is a perfect example, Mo. Yeah. Sometimes you'll see me and I'll be in a more social mood. I'll be open to saying like a hey, what's up, how you doing kind of thing. And there'll be other days when my head's down and I might give you a pound and say what's up.
Yeah.
But that's the most you're getting from me.
I mean, I thought it was just a pre-workout kicked in.
No,
it's just like, yo, I let the man get his pump.
That's just me sheltering myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I've learned from experience that if I let myself get lit up with the smallest things when I'm in that moment, forget it.
It's not good.
It's not good. You know.
But at least you learn how to control it. You know what I mean?
Being self-aware, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, knowing your limits, knowing you have limits.
Exactly.
You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to not be happy all the time. Like that's not
it's
a
normal.
bad thing. It's normal.
We're human. You know what I mean? We go through our ups and downs.
This is it.
But you can't. And it goes back to the same conversation we had. When we fall down, do we stop and do we later? No, we get back up. You continue on with your day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so then after 6 months, you found all that information out, phase 2 of bipolar.
Yeah.
And
I started off on a recipe of meds.
And they gave you?
They gave me, they have no choice.
Okay.
And it's kind of a game they play with you because they're not really quite sure. I mean, it's, again, everything changes with every different person.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trial and error type where they throw you some meds and they see how you react to it.
Yeah.
And they gauge it from there. Now, that went on for about 5-6 years.
5-6 years.
Of different meds, different recipes, not finding a solution. And then once my 2 suicide attempts in 2010, after that they said, look, Mr. Babb, we're sorry, but lithium is the only way we can go with you now. Like, we wanted to avoid using lithium on you because of the fact that it is damaging and you're such a young candidate.
And so, how would the lithium work? Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not. And for all the people that are listening to it, they're not too sure.
Well, lithium can, if it's not used in the right dosage and if the levels aren't exact or precise, it can produce just as many suicidal thoughts as it can prevent them.
Okay, so now it's like they're playing
Russian roulette.
Exactly. So hopefully it works. If not, we give you the heads up.
And that can be altered by the simplest things as being dehydrated, for example.
Oh my God.
Like I have to watch, you'll notice that I brought water tonight. I have to watch my fluid levels because if I become too dehydrated, the lithium levels in my blood become toxic.
Okay.
And that affects my liver.
And you're still taking it now?
I have no choice.
Oh, you have no choice.
This is lifelong.
Okay.
And that's what they meant by we're sorry, Mr. Babb, because once you're on lithium,
you can't get off. Because if you get off, what happened? Like,
it's very hard to get off, but I have to be weaned off.
Okay.
Like, I'm legally obliged to take my medication.
Okay.
If I don't take my lithium, I could be, hospitalized. I could be detained.
Okay.
Because of the fact that it's a very strong medication. Here, check it to the point where, just this little sidebar. I work for the city.
Okay.
I went to apply to get my class 1 driver's license.
Yeah.
And they said, sorry, Mr. Bab, we can't do that.
Oh.
You can only apply for a class 3 and up. And I said, why? Well, Mr. Bab, you're on lithium, sir. And I was like, I was at the SAEQ.
Yeah.
I'm like, and of course, my paranoid schizophrenic mind frame goes, how do they know I'm on what's going? Like, was Big Brother that good? Like, are you serious? Like,
yeah. And how did they have your medical records?
It's all because it's all attached. As soon as because of it's through the hospital, it's because it's such a strong medication.
So they have to they have to keep
everybody's in tune.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So I was,
you know
like,
what I mean?
wow.
Just taking medication that everyone is in tune. It's not even your doctors or your pharmacist. It's everyone.
This is it, right? So so this even extends to how much money I can make. Like that's how much it affects our everyday. This type of drug. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
So, after the 2 attempts, he said, look, Mr. Bab, clearly what we're doing is not working.
Okay.
Right? If you're, taking 90 Ativan, then clearly we got to relook at our medical situation, our prescription situation, And from that point on, I have to say, though, as dangerous as lithium has been, it's definitely been my anchor.
And it's helping you.
Oh, it's scary, definitely, because if I do miss a dose, I feel it. Oh, Mo, it's crazy.
And it plays that much of a factor.
That much of a factor. I hate to say it because I never want to give meds all that, because I mean I'm anti-pill.
Like, I know. I try. I feel you.
But at the same time, I can't deny the fact.
Exactly. You have to give props where it's due. But it's scary. You know what I mean? It's like
it's extremely scary.
Yeah,
it's extremely scary.
All the battles you have to fight in your head, and I can't imagine. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be here. Oh yeah, I understand. No, I don't understand.
It's impossible to understand. It's hard for me to understand sometimes.
Yeah.
The complexities of it all.
But I think the best way to deal with it is trying to understand, right?
No choice.
Then not.
And that's always my answer. No choice.
No choice.
My 2 daughters are the driving force behind most of that.
Okay.
Of my no choice mentality, you know, because this is hereditary.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I set an example for my girls, because it's quite a possibility that they too could be diagnosed.
Yeah, and when you have, and it's funny how I know I don't have kids or whatever, but when you have kids, it changes your whole perspective.
It humanizes you.
Exactly, because I know this is not the same seriousness. I remember my dad telling me a story. Like he used to be a chain smoker, like hardcore chain smoker. Like I don't know how many packs of cigarettes he smoked, but all the time. But then, as soon as he found out he was having a son, boom, he snapped. He's like, no more cigarettes, because the doctor said, does anybody smoke in the house? And then my dad's like, yeah, I do. They're like, that's not good for the baby. My dad just stopped right away. And he just changed because he knew no choice. And it comes back to what you're saying. So, so that's good. And, you're setting an example, because at the end of the day, they're your kids. You want to make sure they grow up the way, a good way, the best way you can. I can't say a good way, because what is good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's relative.
Right.
Again, but the best way possible.
And daughters date their fathers.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a fact.
Yeah.
So if I want my girls to go out there and find real men, strong men, smart men, good men, I have to show them that. I have to be that for them. And my parents didn't do any of that for me. If anything, my parents did the opposite in terms of they showed me what not to do. They were like, yo, don't do this. They're going to keep doing it, but you don't do it,
But yeah, and I had this discussion with my friends where it was in one of my motivation and a leadership class. I remember they were asking, are leaders born or made? And so I remember, so somebody in the class was saying, oh no, leaders are born. It's like this. Oh, I was born to be a leader. That's just saying. But I'm like, no, leaders are made.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I said it is basically, they're like, oh no, it depends where you grew up and stuff. I'm like, yes, it is relative. You either could become what your environment made you, or you go against it. So like that was my main argument, because either you absorb your environment or you just go against it and you do the opposite. And so in your case, you just went against it because you knew it didn't feel right. You're like, nope, I'm going to change, make sure I'm going to have a positive impact. And I'll look at you now. Awesome guy.
And getting that diagnosis, actually, I thought that my family would come together and be like, wow, John, I can't believe you went and did this. Like, this is, but no, what I got was Irish pride. What's wrong with you? What's up wrong with you? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, rhetoric. You know, just sheer ignorance, denial. You know, like couldn't possibly want to deal with the fact of what I was experiencing.
Through.
Exactly.
It's real.
You know, and because it would reflect on them.
Exactly.
And that's what they're truly trying to avoid.
And I think it's not only in Irish people.
No.
Like, it's my parents too. Like, let's say when we were hyper, like me and my friends always have the discussion. When we were hyper, we don't you know, if like let's say somebody said you have ADD or whatever. No, it's our parents like, no, he's just hyper. He needs a ass whooping. He needs an ass whooping and he'll calm down. Like,
you know,
like my parents were not gonna, you know what I mean? Like it comes back to what you're saying. Like ADD and all that stuff is real. You know what I mean?
It is real.
And sometimes you need to calm. But you know, our medicine was whoop his ass till it calms,
down. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which is awesome. Which is better than meds if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Especially a little kid. You know, you don't want to take those medication.
No,
little kid. You know, let him have his fun. You know what I mean? Like ass whooping here or there. You know what I mean? I'll make a stronger person.
Definitely. What doesn't kill you makes you so much stronger, man.
So yeah, so your parents didn't, your family.
Parents wanted to know nothing about it, no support whatsoever. And I shouldn't have been surprised because they were never very supportive to begin with.
Okay. And how about your wife?
She was, at the time, she was very proud. She was very supportive. She had no idea what was to come.
Yeah.
And wasn't really built for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's, I hate to be cultural like this, but she was raised old school Italian, so there wasn't much talk of emotion. There wasn't much talk of feelings. It was pretty much just get up, start your day, go to boom, and that's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's life.
Yeah.
You know? Which will get you through, and that's great for some people.
Yeah.
You know?
And I that's like the immigrant background. Like, you know, my parents the same way. You know, when you tell them something that they're not used to, and it's not their fault, right? They grew up a certain way.
This is it.
And we grew up a certain way.
This is it.
And, you know, we tend to butt heads a lot. But it's normal, you know what I mean? It's like
it is normal.
It's perspectives. And I came to realize that's just a few years ago. It's all about perspectives in life.
That's it. And understanding that, you know, one's perspective, as sometimes, I mean, and even as negative as it can be, like, I mean, it's their own, and unfortunately, something happened to them. Yeah. For them to have that perspective.
Certain perspective.
Right? Like, and you can trace that back as far back as you want to go.
Exactly.
You know, like we learn how to be, right? We don't just know how to be. So
we learn how to be.
We're taught how to be. Yeah. So these things become cycled. It becomes something that you're it's like hate or racism.
Yeah. Exactly.
These are things you're shown. You're shown. You put 10 kids in the same room. Yeah. You could put 10 different colors of kids in the same room.
Yeah.
And they'll play with each other. Exactly. There's no problem. They won't see color. They don't care what culture you are, what Democrat, Republic,
exactly, religion, anything doesn't matter.
Exactly, right? So they're racist. So it's taught, you know, like so. I had to kind of take that into perspective when I was understanding that she was not capable, my wife, of always understanding what's going on, being supportive. Yeah, she had her just kind of do it and get it over with, and that's that. Exactly. You know. So I found myself alone quite often, to be honest with you, which made it very difficult.
Exactly, because at that time you need like support. But it gets hard, like you said, perspectives, and you know, and I could tell you're all man about perspective. Mm-hmm. So best way to understand is try to find, like, you know, we get like you said, we get so we get caught up just focusing on our point of view. That's and why people don't understand us. Yeah. But we don't even take the time to understand them.
That's right.
How are they going to understand what we're trying to say?
This is it.
And so the what do you call it? Glenn at Gym Zone. Mm-hmm. And remember, he told me something really fascinating, and I stick this in my head now because the best way to know is to live on the edge. When you live on the edge, you get to see both sides.
True.
And you know, I never really thought about it like that before, but that's like the best analogy I could come up with. Truth. And now, you know, so like obviously I don't argue with my parents as much as before. I try to understand where they're coming from, mm-hmm. And because it's so easy to shout and yell without even understanding.
That's right.
It's harder to actually pay attention and try to figure out what the problem is.
That's right.
And it goes back to the first thing I told you. Hard work is more rewarding than things that are easy.
Of course.
So what the hell's the point of yelling and shouting?
Right.
No point. So anyway, so you're alone dealing with these battles.
Yeah. And I kept turning to my daughter.
Okay.
Whenever I was feeling that, you know, I knew she wouldn't have the answer in terms of, oh, Daddy, don't worry, it's, you know. No. But just the presence, just the positive, the innocence of it all. You know, like,
and it makes you feel innocent inside. No.
This is it, and it helps because I tend to reverse engineer absolutely everything.
Okay.
I'm constantly trying to pick things apart. Why? Sierra, my first daughter.
Okay.
She brought that childhood innocence that I didn't have growing up. My parents were constantly at each other's throat.
Yeah.
Drugs and alcohol everywhere. I didn't have much of a childhood, right?
Okay.
So to see her innocence to the world, I truly believe, Mo, that we're born incredibly intelligent and we just get stupider and stupider by the day, Like, it's so funny because kids have life figured out, man. Like, it's simple. You eat, you poop, you need love. That's it.
You smile, you enjoy, and
this is it.
I swear, I agree with you completely with that. And, it's like when thinking back about my childhood, it was so much simpler. And life was great. I didn't need so many different things to enjoy.
Right?
There's a good company, go outside, play. My imagination was so much better.
You had one.
Yeah.
You know what? Because you didn't have a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to use your imagination.
Yeah, and it's funny because kids nowadays always on the iPad. It's so funny. Reading an article of it. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. They're like, giving an 8-year-old or a younger an iPad or anything, any sort of smartphone technology.
Damages.
It's like cocaine. Like it's addictive as cocaine.
I believe it, man.
And I won't lie, I have a problem. I'm always on my fucking phone. Like I know there's a problem, but it's like I try not to be as much, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And you have to admit what's true and what's not.
100%, guy.
I'm so addicted to my phone. But yeah, when I was younger, I didn't have that. I remember build Lego blocks and have so much creativity, make my own stories. I would make stories up, and I'll be saying it out loud, but I was enjoying it. People might think, oh, what the hell are you talking about? Crazy a little kid talking by himself. No, but even when my friends would come over, we'd play together, we'd play Legos, and we make up stories. And we're like in a fantasy land. But now they on their iPad play Minecraft. Nothing against Minecraft, it's fine, but Lego, but it's not the same.
No,
you lose sight of a person,
of everything,
emotions.
Like I have a 10 and a 6-year-old now, and I'm adamant about it. Like I'm anti. I mean, I have a cell phone, yes, but I come from a world before cell phones.
Yeah,
I'm 39 years old, right? So I understood. I mean, just the smallest context is like. I don't understand how a generation can have so much information in the palm of their hands, yet know nothing about it. Like, I don't mean about the phone. But I mean about life, about what's going on in the world today. Like, we had to get up and go to the library and research stuff for homework. There wasn't just like Google search, boom, boom, thank you very much.
But people are so lazy now. Like, okay, I don't want to diss my sister, but whenever she has a question, she's just like, oh, what is this? I'm like, you have Google, you have a smartphone, you have your laptop,
you still
iPad.
Are lazy.
She's like, no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? It's right there. Google it. But then later we're bad brothers because we're not telling my sister the answer. I'm like, I don't even know. To be honest,
that's not the point. You're giving her the right lesson to go, hey, go find it, girl. It's at your palm.
And it's so funny. I feel so old when I tell her. I'm like, yo, we at least had to research. Google wasn't there right away to give us the answer. We had to go through a whole bunch of articles, read books.
That's true.
So my generation, like growing up, we had in between both.
Okay.
It was like a bit less cool growing up because it's cell phone.
I had the Commodore computer, my friend. Okay, like you had to hook the paper up inside, and it was crazy. Like, it was nuts.
Oh, me, I had dial-up, man. It's like, mom, get off the phone.
Yeah, for real. Right?
And people are wondering what the hell these guys talking about. So you.
Oh man, that's funny.
Dude. People just like, yo, these guys are laughing. But there's a positivity, man. We're smiling, a good conversation. So then, so you've seen your daughter, and you're seeing that innocence.
She that innocence gave me a lot of. Oftentimes, when I'm in a crisis or in a manic type state, which happens all the time.
Oh.
I mean, it happened last week.
Oh.
I'll grab one of my kids and just squeeze him. Like literally just squeeze him. As simple as that sounds, I'll just squeeze him, and just breathe. And they're used to me now in terms of, they used to be like, are you okay, daddy? Like, what's going on? Are you okay?
Too much love.
You know what I'm saying? Now they just respond with, "I love you, daddy." Like they get it now, you know.
And that's awesome, man.
Oh man, is it ever awesome? They're
And-
like batteries. I swear to God, man.
Uh,
When I'm feeling low and I'm feeling drained. I literally just attach myself to one of them for 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm a new man. It's true what they say, man. Kids give you energy. They give you life.
Yeah.
You know, they remind you that they force us to remember that we're not dead yet. We're not done. We're not. There's so much more to us. You know, like we've only got access to about 20% of our brains. You know, like and that's not enough. Like there's so much more for us out there. You know, like, and I find that youth reminds us of that, the possibilities. You know, we get our negative mind frames are fed by other people around us, right? Everyone's all like, oh, and it gets contagious.
Yeah.
Well, kids don't have that yet.
Kids don't have that.
They don't have that.
They don't have that 9-to-5 life.
Exactly.
Except for
right?
school, but it's different, but yeah. No, because I was thinking about it like today. I was driving to work. I don't hate my job, but it's like, but I'm like, oh my God, 9 to 5 every day. I'm like, but maybe it's just new and I'm still getting used to the environments or whatever. But I'm like, I remember waking up to school and like, I wouldn't really get in trouble not going, maybe by my parents, but not by school. And, I was just like, what was worse? I'm like, because I would be at school from like 7 till 5 o'clock, 7 a.m. till 5. And like I'd wake up at 7, starts class at 8 on elementary school, and then be at daycare till 5 o'clock. But I'm like, but it didn't feel like it was, it didn't feel like slave work. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was just like.
It makes complete sense, Mo, because that's what we are.
Yeah.
That's what it doesn't matter what we do, we're slaves.
Yeah.
And it's. I'll put it to you like this. Did the man who created college go to college?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, but I didn't even have the answer for you. I don't think so.
He couldn't have.
He couldn't have.
Because it wasn't college before he invented it.
Exactly.
So that right there shows that we can reinvent ourselves if we all agree to. Because this one dude said, okay, so you know what? We're going to formulate our humans now. We're going to study this, and this. These are going to be our core things to study. And we're going to do this in terms of fields to work. How come you and I don't know how to plant a tree?
Because we were never taught.
How come you and I can't do our own taxes?
We weren't taught.
Why? These are things that we should know how to do. These are part of our aspects, right?
Because if you knew how to do that, then other people wouldn't have jobs, right? And it comes back to that circle.
It's like trying to teach a shark to play cards.
Yeah.
It absolutely no purpose, right?
No purpose.
So why do you go to work for 9 to 5? And why is 8 hours the allotted time for you to go to work?
Exactly. Why can't it be 5 hours?
Right? Why is 24 hours one day when we all know, well, I shouldn't say we all know, but it's already been proven that the human battery, for lack of a better expression, is based on a 32-hour day.
32-hour day?
Not 24.
I didn't know about that.
Yet we're crammed into these 9 to 5 type environments. Into these, another example, 5 days on, 2 days off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Because you run around all day Saturday trying to get things done with the rest of the idiots around you who are on the same schedule.
Yeah.
Only to try to, pull some sort of relaxation or quality time with your family.
But you can't even do that.
You can't do it.
Because everything that you couldn't do Monday to Friday, you have to try to cram it into 2 days.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
And what does that force you to do? Spend money.
Spend money.
That's right.
Consumerism.
That's right.
Yeah.
So stay miserable, keep working, and spend money on the weekends.
Exactly. The only way to sustain that happiness we were talking about before.
Chasing happiness.
Right?
So we are slaves.
We're
all slaves to the system.
System.
As conspiracy theory as that sounds, and I don't like to get too,
into it.
X-Files-ish type, situations.
But it's
the truth.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
It depends how you put it into perspective, right?
Right.
And like a lot of people are like, oh no, man, I love doing that. Okay, dude, awesome. Props to you, man. You love it. I'm not gonna take away your happiness. If you enjoy waking up every day 9 to 5, then props to you. Me, I do not enjoy it.
How much of it do you really love though, in terms of because you don't know anything else better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of us become like, oh, that's cool. I can deal with that. Yeah, but are you really actually happy? Are you doing what you should be doing? Like, it's one thing to say, well, yeah, I guess I'm happy. I'm complacent. I'm okay. Like, that's not happy.
No.
That's not healthy. This is sitting at a chair for 8 hours a day is not human. The human body wasn't built to sit for
down.
8 hours a day.
We're moving around doing things, who was I speaking to? I remember I was speaking to somebody. I can't remember. I apologize if whoever's listening. But what I remember having a conversation where life's simpler when you don't have much things, right?
That's right.
As the more things you get, the more caught up you get, and the more you need to sustain the happiness.
Exactly. Like I said before, more money,
Ahem.
more problems.
More money, more problems. That's my nickname when I'm not in the right state of mind. But that's another story. But yeah, but I didn't give myself that nickname, so I'm not a douchebag. But I give a simple analogy, like for my like realizing, it's just the little things, right? To put things on a greater scale. I remember when I had no data on my phone. I was happy. I didn't need to go on my damn phone all the time.
Right.
I was like, maybe text message here or there, call my friends. Okay, simple. Yeah. Once I got data, I remember my friends would use data all the time. I'm like, I don't need data, man. I'm good. Right. But then later I started using data slowly, just checking, a few apps here or there. And now I have 7 gigs of data on my phone. For what? Dude, I'm always on my phone looking at it. I don't even want to. I just have to. Like today, this morning, so funny. I left my phone in my car by accident at work, and I was like, "Oh God, man, what the hell? Feel naked, man. Where the hell's my phone?" And I'm like, "Damn!" I'm like, so bad. I'm like this, but I kept touching my pocket, even though
it's not there, but you're looking for it. Now you're like, "Oh, where's my phone?"
I'm like this. Damn, this is so bad. I'm like this. Oh my God! And then later, I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, it costs a lot of money my phone. And secondly, I'm like this. Oh crap, man. I know I'm really addicted to this shit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Man.
But yeah, man, it comes back to that whole thing. Life was so life is more. It was better when it's more simpler, right?
That's right.
You didn't have more problems.
That's right.
You had the little things, the necessities you enjoyed,
the bare necessities.
Nowadays, it's if you don't have this, you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy? No, you're not. If somebody says you're happy, you're wrong. But that's all we see on the media. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From our rap and like from our singers. Everyone from like celebrities, singers, rappers, they shove the consumerism in your face.
Oh,
if you're not promoting this product,
mm-hmm.
You're not doing the right job. Like you need this, you need a lot of car. Yes, having nice things is nice, but makes you happy?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean when there's still millions of people out there starving to death? I mean, this is 2017. Okay, we shot a satellite. Did you hear about the Rosetta satellite?
I heard about it, but not too much detail.
I'll give you a quick briefing, okay? But as humanity, shot a satellite from Earth and hit a comet 10 years down the road. That's like Tom Brady hitting a receiver 10 years later. Like, so you're telling me we can't cure poverty, but we can throw a satellite from Earth, mathematically calculate it to land on a comet in space 10 years later. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
But we can't get 5 of these CEOs to sit down and say, hey, let's get rid of poverty.
Yeah, and make an equation for that. No, but is there money in?
There's no profit involved.
Yeah, no profit involved.
But see, there is though. If you really do it, if we really put humanity to the test and said, like, let's stop everything. Like before Trump and Kim Jong-il have a free-for-all and start putting holes in the planet everywhere. And say, let's change. We need serious change. Let's start with the bare necessities. Never mind cultural differences. Never mind religious differences. We have to look past all of that and understand 4, maybe 5 crucial things. Everybody eats. Everybody needs love. Everybody needs shelter. Everybody needs oxygen, water, if we can tackle those 5 basic things for the entire planet, then let's move on to Tesla cars or other things,
all the luxury things,
all the other luxury things, when everybody's got something to eat and a roof over their head. And these are not delusions of grandeur. Like this, this is possible. We're not overpopulated. We
consume too much. Going off what you said, as I remember I had a class in university. It was a sustainability class, and he gave us an assignment. It was funny. So basically, it's like a fish. It's a fishing pond. So he divided us all into group. So he told us you only need 2 fish to survive. and then your pond repopulates every 6 months. So you only need 2 fish to survive. So I forgot how many of us were split into group, and there's a certain amount of fish in the pond and we're a society. But you could fish up to 20 fish. And so I think there's like, let's say 100 fishes in the pond, and we're like, let's say 20 each, so like 5, like we're 5 people in each group. So yeah, so you just need 2 fish to survive, but you could fish up to 20 fish. Like that's the limit. And so, but every 6 months it restarts. So you just need 2 fish to survive, like let's say the season. But what did people do? They went and took 5, 20. Like some people took 20. And then like, anyways, the teacher asked later, like for the people that took 20 fish in the pond, what was your thought process behind that? Like, oh, I just want to see what would happen. You know, no, at first it's just like, no, before that, no, sorry. That was after. So he asked us, and then he did the calculations. Okay, so you guys would run out of food at this point. Your team would survive for like 6 seasons, 8 seasons, because, you know, we're overfishing.
Right.
We just needed 2 to survive, but people are taking 5, 3, 1. I mean, like 2, like, you know, and it was all over. So then later he told us what happened and what we were doing wrong. So he let us do the assignment again. Okay, now you guys know if you need to repopulate, you need to take 2 fish. So then again, so this time a lot of people put 2, 2, 2. But then there'd be the random people were like, no, it took 20, took all the fish. And then later the teacher asked, so why did you guys take the 20 fish? I wanted to see what would happen. You know what I mean?
I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah. So what if the people out there, you know, whoever is overseeing everything we're doing, they just want to see what happens?
Just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
If a tiger ate the entire meal and didn't leave scraps for the scavengers, who would he eat after?
No one.
That's right. Because his food chain would be gone, right?
Yeah.
If he took all the food for himself, if he just killed everything and ate everything because he was greedy,
yeah,
there'd be no more food underneath him, right?
Exactly.
So even the lion, the king of the jungle, understands that I have to walk away from this meal when I'm full.
Yeah.
Because others have to eat off of it so that I can then hunt others afterwards.
Exactly.
We are the only creature on this planet that eats for fun, for pleasure.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to say I'm not one of those people, right? That's all of us. You know, we do it because it's like, it comes back to that whole thing. It's just, we're functioning.
We're consuming.
We're consuming.
We're greedy.
That's what we're taught. And it gets, and if that's put in your head every single day, you got to do this.
And who put it in your head?
The media, everything, the people.
That's right. The people in controlling, the people making sure you're paying your taxes.
Yeah.
Listen, I promised myself I wouldn't do this, but the government's got its sticky little fingers in everything but one thing, and that's controlling the birth rate.
The birth rate.
Why? Because they want to let sure that stupid repopulates.
Because if it repopulates, we have new consumers.
And who pay taxes.
Yeah.
Who walk around and get in trouble. Who don't deal with themselves emotionally. Who basically consume. Right? Like the government will tell you have to be 18 to drive or drink.
Yeah.
You have to be so-and-so with this to do that. You have to take these courses to qualify for this. You have to pay these taxes. The government's controlling us in every other way except saying to us, you have to qualify for a child.
Yeah.
Because qualifying for a child would make you have to meet certain requirements.
Yeah.
And if you met certain requirements, that means that the chances of there being stupid, lazy babies being born are less and less.
Less, because people wouldn't be able to pass those tests.
That's right. And that would make us, less stupid people, right? But that's not what the government wants.
But let me ask you this, John. What about in China? You know, when they try to control the population there in terms of
permit for the
exactly to having a child. Yeah. But what about that?
That's sheer geographics.
I mean,
they don't have the place for it.
You know what I mean? Just like
I mean, they're talking about 1 billion so people on a little island. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say little island. I mean, you know, it's a lot of people in a small space.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like in that sense, you know, they're kind of controlling the population.
Yeah,
you know,
but it wasn't based on qualifications. It was based just on gender.
Oh, true.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was if a daughter was born, or you're only allowed one daughter.
Yeah.
After that, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's to control the population.
Yeah.
I'm talking about qualifying. I'm talking about bettering the population.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like weaning out the stupid.
Yeah.
And I use the word stupid. It's not. I shouldn't use the word stupid. It's weaning out people who shouldn't be having children. Yeah, because I'm sorry, and I can honestly say that my parents should have never had children. Like it's just some situations don't equate to a positive environment to bring young people into.
Exactly. And it's scary. Like think about it. You're a little kid and your example, you know, thankfully, you came out to be an amazing human being, you know, and I'm
Still trying. Thank you.
No, dude, for sure, man.
Still
And
trying.
having this conversation with you is like amazing, and I feel really good having this conversation.
me
And
too.
I don't know if you see.
Oh, it comes across, man. Trust me, it comes
No,
across.
man,
That smile, man.
No, but it's truly amazing. You know, you came out as amazing human being. Like the experience had the pleasure to meet. You know, at the gym and now here, it's like, you know, you didn't let all that shit. You know,
I'm trying not to.
yeah, but
No.
you're still working at it, and I give
Still
you props.
working at it.
And I give you props. You know what I mean? You're not giving up. You're going after.
No choice.
No choice.
No
That's it.
choice.
No choice.
And that's where these photos came from.
Yeah, So now the photos. Let's talk about the photos. I know, man. We sidetracked so
That's
much.
okay. No, it's
but-
good because the photos are my way of expressing the fact that the stigmas and a lot of the things that we believe or allow ourselves to believe.
Yeah, sorry, John, cutting
ahead.
out. So I'm gonna upload the photos. So whoever's watching this on YouTube,
Yes.
so once John gives me permission to upload those photos, I'm gonna have them up so you guys could see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So John, back to you.
I apologize.
So no, the photos are gonna be up on this segment.
very, very soon. I'm just in the finishing process.
Okay.
They're not fully edited yet. So
Okay. So yeah. So
Um,
it comes back to the project you were telling me about.
Yes,
So you took these
exactly.
photos.
I took these photos at the hospital with the permission and support of the hospital after 11 years of being a bipolar patient.
Okay.
The lithium,
Yeah.
along with a lot of psychotherapy.
Okay.
It definitely brought me to a safe place, but only for a short period of time. And these photos are probably my own way of
Dealing with it.
Dealing
or
with
coping
it.
with it.
yeah, and my own kind of therapy too. The budgets for mental health aren't phenomenal, Mo. You get a little bit of psychotherapy, you get a dose of meds, and then you're pretty much on your own. Which is why you've seen, I don't know if I'm not saying you personally, but that's why we have seen as a society an influx of police altercations with mental health patients.
Yeah.
Because there's gone from being 2,000 patients when I was first diagnosed to now 200, because there's just no more funding. The government is cutting costs everywhere. I mean, this isn't just in the mental health department. It's in the entire health industry, but mental health is especially. So there's not much tools to be given to you after a bit of psychotherapy and some meds.
Yeah.
And like I say, that did bring me to a safe place, but only for a short period of time, because then it was the whole, now what?
Now you have to
Now
find
what?
out
I
your
gotta
own answer.
That's right. Find a way to dealing with things, you know? And I kept looking for someone else to look up to, a role model, somebody out there. And not just a Sinead O'Connor, or not someone who's just, you know, I mean, and God bless Sinead O'Connor. I mean, my heart goes out to the woman, you know?
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately a lot of the only faces we see of mental health is the struggle.
The struggle.
Is the lack of rationale. It's the desperation, you know?
So instead of trying to see the positive things,
This is it.
we get shoved the negative things.
This is it, right?
And that's why it doesn't allow, okay, maybe myself or like other people listening, it doesn't allow them to understand what there's actually a positive side to it. If you actually work with it,
That's right.
you can make the situation better. But instead, we're not shown those things. And so why make something better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not gonna
Why would I, or to give someone who might think to themselves inside, you know what, like I was.
Yeah.
And that's why I did this, because I
wanna
didn't
bring
have
awareness.
somebody. Yeah. And I also didn't have somebody to look up to. I didn't have someone to make me go, oh, it's not just me. Oh, okay. Woof, you know, like, so I thought to myself, what's the best way of giving people that, you know? And I try to do it on a one-to-one basis to try to give people advice and help them out and give them my knowledge through what I've learned. But a lot of people come back with negativity and closed-mindedness because they don't want to look in there.
Yeah.
It's too scary, you know? So I figured, rather than doing things on a one-to-one basis, I figured I'm going to throw myself out there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to do this photo shoot. I am going to bare myself literally, you know, nude. Yes, people, a lot of these pictures are in the nude.
Don't
so-
worry, I'm censor those out because YouTube won't allow me to put those up. And then you guys won't be able to enjoy this conversation we're having.
Well,
But yeah, so
the ones that won't be full nude,
Yeah.
we will give people a link to or let them know where
Yeah.
they can go see them when they're fully finished. And
yeah, exactly. If you want to see the whole scenery.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but no, I seen the photos and I was looking at them, and and it's like a journey.
That's right.
And it shows how you entered, like, and you're explaining the story along the way, and you're letting me solve the puzzle my way, and you're just telling me if I was on the right path. And and those photos were amazing. But I seen the photos without being Photoshop, and I can't wait till I get to see the final masterpiece that you created. And
you and I both.
And I really love that message you told me, that you're doing this so you could be a role model for other people, and it's a positive role model.
That's it.
You're not trying to be a negative role model. You
No.
go do this, you can't be cured, you can't.
No.
And you show through those photos the struggle. You
Yeah.
entered the hospital,
This is it.
and what you've been feeling inside, and what's been consuming you, with all the negativity. But you see the challenge, and how you feel. But you're going, towards escaping.
That's right.
That the hospital escaping so basically the hospital was from my understanding, it was a representation of how you felt.
Definitely.
Inside, locked, no escape.
Definitely.
And then those photos with your face, just no expression, and then those chains and those weights holding you down.
That's right.
And it's like, but you were able to escape finally.
That's right. And use them.
Yeah, and you're pulling, and when whoever's listening to this or watching this on YouTube, you will see the photos I'm talking about. He's pulling a chain out because he finally escaped. But that chain represents, my understanding, is it represents all that, all that negativity or whatever, everything that you're dealing with in your mind. You're trying to pull that all out. And like, no,
That's right.
it's like, I
refuse to let it hold me down.
Exactly, and you're pulling it up, and then after that you put and then the last, I don't know if that's the last photo, but and then you, like, before we go back to the circle, you put your hand out.
That's right.
And you want other people to come along.
That's
that
right.
they're not alone.
They're not alone.
They're not alone.
They're not alone.
And you're there helping them.
That's right.
But then
that's what I wanted. That's what I needed.
Yeah, but no one is there at that time.
Nope.
But now, and you realize that, and you want to be that person. I'm gonna be there for you guys.
That's right.
Even when you guys feel alone, you're not alone.
And that's why I exposed myself. That's why I made sure it was a nude.
Yeah.
So that they could see that, like, what's more embarrassing?
Yeah.
Being naked on the internet,
Yeah.
or telling people you're bipolar.
Oh yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
that's
what's
good. I didn't understand.
that was the whole reason why I did the nude, because
Mm.
I'm like, if I can show you everybody that, listen, I'm gonna post myself naked on the internet.
Yeah.
How much more embarrassing can that? How much more can I expose myself to the world?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same way when I tell somebody I'm bipolar,
Yeah.
and they look at me, and the way they look at me changes immediately, Mo.
Yeah.
Immediately, and they'll say to me, "Really?" And from that point on, how they deal with me changes.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because then it becomes so sensitive. It's like,
this is it.
you're a normal person. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
And it goes back to what you're saying. All they want is those negative images. Oh, you gotta act differently with them. No. Because you're not acting differently. If you're being a nice person, we're supposed to be nice to other people. You know what I mean? You don't have to act differently.
You shouldn't
You
be
just-
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be a dickhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're like to a normal person. Like, and like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you have to care for one another. So why treat somebody else differently? So you care for them. At the end of the day, regardless of their disabilities or how they act, the color, religion, every politics, anything. At the end of the day, you care for one another because we're human beings. We're supposed to care.
And how does Ellen end every segment, every show she does? Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind to everyone. Like, and because that's as simple as it breaks down to
Exactly.
being. Like, if you just be kind, listen, you catch more. You catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. I think the expression goes. Like,
Yes, I remember hearing something.
like, and that's why I made sure to do the nudes, to expose myself, to say, look, like,
be a most vulnerable state
possible. There's no more vulnerable than naked on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's, it's, and that's okay. And if I have to be that to show people that it's never going to stop me, it's not going to hold me back, it's only going to make me do things even more extreme to show the world that, hey, there's life after a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And chances are, 9 times out of 10, it's a better life after diagnosis.
And if you give it the chance.
If you give it the chance,
Exactly.
just look into it. Look, what more else is there in life? Like, What, a new phone, a new car, a new house? What else are we chasing? What else? If you're not fixing what's inside, then what's the point? Like, I don't. It makes no sense, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you 100%. And yeah, no. So those photos. So then later, you know, he puts his hand out. John puts his hand out, trying to bring other people along, because you know he basically entered he basically entered the hospital just so he could fix this so-called being normal. That's what society told us, because his condition is apparently, you know, is not supposed to be normal.
Nope.
So that's why he's like, okay, fine, let me go fix it.
What's
and that's
normal?
Yeah, and so that's why he fixed. So that's why he went into the hospital and took those images, and he went through his journey, and then he finally was able to escape and help everyone escape. But then once he got out, he wanted to come back in.
This is it.
And then it goes back to what you said. What is normal?
What is normal? Who is normal? What is normal? What is? Listen, Chester Bennington, Robin Williams, Heath Ledger. These are iconic people, millionaires. Like
they had everything, right?
Everything, right? Like they should have no need for, you know. No, what do? They kill themselves. You know,
they can't deal with it.
That's right.
Maybe there's nobody, like you said. You know, we might look up to them, right? But who were they looking up to? You know what I mean?
Like, you know, and it goes to show that it doesn't matter how much money you have. Happiness does not come from money. I mean, if you think about, like, even money itself, Mo, what is money?
It's a means of trade. I remember I did a whole project on money and happiness, like in college, you know, and it was like a simple topic. At that time, I didn't think too much about it. And I did my research, you know, and all that. But then later I came to realize, and it goes, what is money, right? It's just a means of trade.
That's all it is.
And then
it's what you and I agree to trade upon. Like,
exactly.
It's all it is.
It's just a form of trade.
That's it.
It's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And
the government proved that when they eliminated the penny.
Yeah.
And nobody batted an eye.
Exactly.
Nobody said a word when the government said, you know what? The penny's just getting too clumsy. It's getting too expensive to produce.
Yeah.
That made me joke right there too.
Yeah,
exactly. I almost fell right over right there.
You know
like,
what I mean? Like, it's too expensive.
Make money, yo. Like, just make more money. Like, you don't understand, you know? Like,
it gets more expensive to make more money.
Like, you know. So we're just gonna get rid of the penny. So it's no longer worth anything.
Yeah.
And everybody just went, okay.
Yeah. Nobody
batted an eye. No one's like, wow. So just because you say a penny's not worth anything anymore,
it's not worth anything anymore.
It's all of a sudden it's just like that overnight. The next day, poof, gone.
Exactly. So how crazy is that concept? You know,
just that alone.
If you take time to really think about that, it makes no sense, right?
Makes no sense.
But we just, you know, but like, no, people probably listen like, yo, you guys crazy.
No, but it's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's the truth.
The truth is always scary. It doesn't make sense because we have all these things hiding the truth, and it goes back to what you're saying. People are scared to know about the truth, because I'm comfortable. I don't need to know. Like, you know, I'm comfortable. Everyone keeps me safe.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable. Like, why am I gonna go poke something that I'm not supposed to?
That's
like, you
right.
know, it's like, but no, and I came to realize, I'm like, you know, there's so much more out there in the world. You know, why would I? That's why most box. And let's think outside the box, right? Perspectives.
Right. And because so many things don't make sense.
Exactly.
Man. Like it's so easy to just look at it and go, really? And can you not see the lie we're being told?
Like when you're doing a math problem, if it's wrong, you find another answer, right? You know,
and if you follow your work, if you follow your work, you will find where you went wrong.
Exactly.
Like, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Boom, fix it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go. And so, so I was doing that project on money and happiness. And I remember, so while I was doing the research, I did surveys and stuff, trying to figure out how much money makes you happy, what this. But everyone's answer, like, there's more, you know? And like, when does it stop?
Never stops.
And so I remember I had lunch with, I finished class and I was walking home with one of my friends towards the metro, and he bought me pizza. And I'm like, oh, man, thank you, man. I'll pay you back. Like, no, man, what am I going to do if you pay me back? You know what I mean? You smiling after I bought you the pizza made me feel better.
Exactly.
I was like, you know, at that time, you know, and I'm still young. I'm like 18. I'm like, oh, but that concept like really stuck in my head at that time. Because he did it and that lasts longer, you know what I mean, than actually buying something. Because it stays in your head.
That's right.
And he's like, yo, you smiling, that's going to stay with me forever. Yeah. Okay, you buy a new car, is that going to stay with you forever? No, because 5 years later, you're going to get another car.
That's right.
Then another car, and then the graveyard. But yeah, so then later, I went and I did my paper in front of everyone in class. And then my simple answer to everything, because they asked, you know, I realized money doesn't equate to happiness. Temporary happiness, but not happiness. You know,
it's not real happiness.
It's not real
It's a
happiness.
buzz.
It's just
It's dopamine. That's all it is.
It's just basically what drugs
It's
and
the
alcohol
same
do.
feeling you get when your phone goes beep. When you get that notification of a text, it's dopamine.
Dopamine.
It's the same chemical release when you do cocaine, when you eat junk food, when you drink alcohol. Dopamine.
Dopamine.
It's all the same stuff. It's that small little brief feeling of,
yeah.
It's like an orgasm. You know what I mean? Like as awesome as orgasms are, they're 30 seconds, guys.
Exactly.
Like it's, you know what I mean? And then you're hungry for a sandwich. You know,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like it's the truth.
It is the truth.
You know.
And then at the end of it, I said, end of the day, sharing is caring.
Exactly.
Yeah. And and that's why I started this podcast. And you know, it's to help people.
Exactly.
You know, maybe it's that sense of dopamine where, you know, it's a sense of relaxation in your mind. Because I want you to think about it. Maybe whatever I'm saying, it might not stick in your head, but
you get a good vibe.
Good vibe. I'm trying to give good energy out here. And, you know, you're here. This is why we're having this amazing conversation. Half an hour went by, I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? Like I seen it was 8:30 and it's like, I'm like, what? 9:10? I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm enjoying this conversation. But yeah, it's like the sense of like, you know, I want to do something positive.
Right.
World. You know,
we got one life, right?
One life.
We got one shot at this. There's no reset button. There's no delete trash. Bring it back. Refresh.
You fuck up. You continue on. You move on.
You know what I mean? Like you get one shot.
One shot. And exactly. I want to make a positive impact.
There you go.
And this is why this podcast was created, just for positive reinforcement. Maybe like, you know, you're doing your project in terms of trying to help people that, you know, going through the same thing.
That's right.
I mean, I'm just trying to help people. Maybe they're feeling down or something.
That's right.
This is a sense
it's all the same circle, man.
Yeah. And
it's all relative.
It's a relative. Exactly. And, you know, and I just want people, you know, an escape. You know, you're feeling bad. Come here. Try to cheer you up. Give you a different perspective on life. Maybe there's something that you weren't able to find out of people that you're talking to.
Exactly. You might go to bed tonight a little smarter.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? And
or a little happier,
or a little happier, or both for that matter. You know,
hopefully not angry. You know what I mean? Like
right?
if you're angry, just turn the shit off.
You know.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like why the hell are you gonna go like this? I'm gonna go listen to this guy and be pissed off.
You know?
Like, well, why were they talking about this shit? Like I'm like this now, and it goes back to one of the episodes I did with my friend. Like a lot of people go out of their way to go find shit that they hate. You know
it's
what I mean?
amazing.
Like damn man, it's like fuck. It's like this, you know, like this. I hate this shit, but let me go watch it. Let me go talk some shit. Does that really make you feel better? Well, if it does, like. Fuck,
it
man.
takes some serious skill to be a hater. Like you have to really go out there and look for that, man. You know, like
being a hater is hard, man.
It's hard. Like it causes anxiety. Like you know, like I see this stuff going down with the neo-Nazis and
yeah, all the shit
that was going.
Oh
yeah,
dude,
man,
that was crazy, man. And dude, and it goes back to what you were saying. You know, we're not born like you know. We're taught this type of shit.
You were taught this stuff, like assalamu alaikum. You know what I mean? Like
welcome salam.
Exactly, right? Like what does a white boy from Verdun, Irish background, know that? Because I want to know that.
You want to know, and there's so much out there. You know what I mean? And exactly me, you know, I try not getting debates with people with religion or anything.
I know, me too.
Because I'm like, dude, religion's their own thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, maybe you're atheist, whatever. That's your own thing. You know, you don't have to go out of your way. Like, no, dude. Oh, yo, why do you do this? I'm like, no. I do this because it makes me feel better. Or maybe it's just how I'm raised. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. You live your life. Obviously, I'll try to throw in a positive impact there. Yeah. You know, like I know I'd give people compliments and things like that because that's just who I am. I enjoy giving people compliments. If I see a smile on your face, that means a lot to me.
Boom.
It's not me being cheesy or me being fake.
No, that's who you are.
It's you know? And it makes life easier, you know. If you're smiling, I'm like, dude, it's like, you know, it makes me better because I'm enjoying life. You know what I mean?
And it's contagious. Smiles are contagious. Yeah. I'm sorry, but if someone's smiling at you awkwardly, even if it is awkward, you're gonna smile back.
Exactly.
Like it, you know, your face will fight you on it, but you'll do it. Like it's gonna happen. You know. Yeah. Getting back to the religion thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
I try to avoid religious conversations at all costs because it never ends well.
It never ends anywhere.
You know?
And people and it's so funny that, you know, they're trying to embrace peace or whatever, but like, oh, you believe in this God? I believe in this God? Oh, no, I hate you while you're following the wrong. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
and that's my only beef with religion.
Yeah.
And my beef is not with religion. It's with division.
Division.
And that's an unfortunate side effect of a bit of a religious mindset.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have a religion and practice a religion, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the minute your religion dictates to not be like someone else
Yeah.
or something else, then it's kind of stepping on toes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, then it's, if you can do what you want to do in your house, in your church, in your whatever building you want to call it, and it doesn't affect anybody else negatively, then
go for it.
Godspeed.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if you're brown, purple, yellow, green. I don't care what color, what fabric, who your God's an elephant. Who cares? You know, like, as long as you're doing it peacefully and it affects nobody else negatively, then God bless.
That's what it was supposed to do. You know,
that's
what I mean?
ideal. You know,
but then later it goes back on stepping toes.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not agreeing with a certain group, it comes with politics too. Like, you know,
and that's where the control comes in.
Yeah,
and that's where they used religion to control people.
Exactly.
And that was the unfortunate part of it.
Unfortunate.
Because I'll tell you something, Mo. I love Muslims.
Yeah.
Because if anybody knows anything about the Muslim religion, they're peace, love. They're such beautiful people. Like, it's such a beautiful religion, you know. Like, but the negative that we are fed in the media and even the people around us around here, you know. Like, I shouldn't say around here because I don't talk about where we are.
Yeah,
exactly. It's almost drowning. It's overwhelming.
It is, because it's shoved in your face every day. You know, when it's shoved in. But look, I'm not even going to defend all Muslims either, because
there's negatives in all
everything. Exactly. It's so funny. I have a conversation with somebody. I told them, I'm like, look, you know, at the end of the day, you know, your religion is your religion.
That's
you know
it.
what I mean? You could, if you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what religion you are. You're a piece of shit,
dude. Your sexuality, or, you know, your gender, or, you know, your political views, or anything.
That's it.
You know what I mean? That shit doesn't affect if you're a good, like, you know, if you're like a, you know, a happy person, chill person, you know, in my terms, chill, you know, just relax, easygoing person. Yeah. Or you could be a piece of shit and just be like, yo, you know, like, and you to embrace your piece of shitness, you use those other things to just justify being a piece of shit.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? And that's where things get twisted and all fucked up. And then later, and then it starts putting all those things in people's head, because the media manipulates
and feeds off of
it. Oh shit, that crazy guy, that dickhead over there, oh, he's related to that particular group. Let's switch this around and let's you know, label all that.
Exactly. And that comes back to the same reason why I did the picks, because the mental health label is very similar.
Very similar.
They attract all that, they attach all that negative aspects to it all. Because they don't understand it. They don't take the time, you know?
To understand.
That's right.
And when you don't take that time to understand, what first instincts, ignorance takes over. Oh, I read that over there. Oh, that person said that, or the media said, oh, you know, people with mental disorders, you can't associate with them. They're fragile. You know,
they're crazy.
They're crazy. But what if the media told them, like, no, people, you know, mental disorder? No, they're normal people. It's just, you know, they're running over hurdles.
That's right.
Instead of running the same race we're running. But
that's right. And in that same token, I don't know if you've seen recently, Mo, CTV is starting a new program this fall. It's called The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor? I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't watched TV.
Okay, it hasn't started yet. I don't watch much TV, but this caught my attention only because the premise is a young autistic boy with his medical degree.
Okay.
And he's trying to practice law in a hospital while being autistic. And the struggle is the board talking about how, but, you know, he's autistic, like he's going to have some issues. And the other half of it saying, well, but he's also a genius and he's seeing things that not many of us can. And the reason why society has put such a negative stigma on mental health or mental handicaps is the reality that some of us are wicked geniuses. Like, some of us are insanely smart. Yes, we have trouble other social aspects of our situations,
but you're intelligent in your own way.
This is it, and it caught my eye because it was a phenomenal example of the media actually putting a positive twist on a mental health situation. I thought it was so big. I mean, okay, Bell does its once a year thing, and I love it. I mean, God bless Howie.
Anyway, to share that positive.
And I love that. That's great. That's awesome. You know.
But you need more of it.
This is it. We need more role models for young people, because the youth are getting diagnosed so fast with ADD, HDAD.
It's super fast, and it is not even a time, like, you know what I mean. It's so fast to diagnose somebody, and but we're so fast to do that, but we're not fast enough to try to understand it. You know what I mean?
Just throw pills at it.
Yeah, boom, that's it. Pokemon.
For real, exactly. Never mind researching why and how can we use this, and what's the purpose, and what's the.
And dude, and that's why it's so amazing. You know, you took all these photos. You're trying to be a role model.
That's right.
Trying to set an example. You know, and you want to help people. And you know, how does it get any better that you're trying to help people? You know what I mean? Obviously, there's gonna be people like this. You know?
Of course, I'm gonna get so much negative feedback over this.
Like, we seen your dick, tiny dick.
You know, put it away, crazy. Put it away.
Look. Yeah, people like think about it. So what you did, you know, and I understand where, you know, when you explain why why you're naked, and because just to, you know, be so exposed where, you know, like, what else is there to hide?
That's right.
But other people are going to be like, oh, no, see, this guy's crazy because he went and put his dick in the internet. He just wanted to put a dick pic online. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Like, it's that people are going to go out just to hate. Instead of taking the positive thing that you're trying to do and make a difference, people are going to be there. Oh, this guy just wants to be exposed. He just wants publicity. But no, you're not. Your main message is you want to help.
That's it. And unfortunately, those people are usually the ones who need the most help.
Exactly, because that's a sad truth. It's so and they're probably here. They're like, yo, man, like, who, what? Like, no.
And that hate they spew out is just a loudspeaker to translate to say, I need help. Yeah, please help me. Please help me. Please help me. But they can't do that.
And they won't admit it.
They will never admit it. So they'll spit hate.
Yeah, they spit hate, and the sad part is there's other people, like, you know, contagious, and they'll just respond to it. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, yeah, man, and you know, and then and the negativity keeps spreading.
Exactly. It's so contagious to the point where I forget which university it was, but they did a study where they had 3 gallons of water.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with this or not.
No.
And on the 3 gallons, 1 gallon had a negative word attached to it, like on a piece of tape, and stuck to the front.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Now
one was just a regular empty jar,
yeah,
and the third jar had a positive word on a piece of tape written stuck to it. And I forget the time lapse, but they came back to the water. The water with the positive word on the front
was finished.
Was beautiful.
Yeah.
The bottle with the negative word rotten to the core.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Negative and positive vibes are contagious. It's in the small things we say, like, you know, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we don't realize we say these little slang things all the time.
Yeah.
But think about that. I feel you, bro, because we do. When you feel something, it's you can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it.
You know, it's stronger than you, because that's who we are. We are 70% water. So I'm sorry, but I feel people's negative vibes. You feel people's negative vibes.
Yeah, I feel the negative people vibe. It's if you know, I'm not gonna go around it, because I know something's off. Like, my body tells me it's like there. But if somebody's, you know, giving me good energy, I'm more likely to approach.
100%.
Hey. And then you actually see it when you approach that positive thing. It just reciprocates back to you, and then you knew you made the right decision. And if you go near a negative vibe, you know what I mean, negative person, like, oh, people will be like, oh, how you could just avoid it. No, like, sometimes it happens. You come across, you know, negative energy, and when you go around it, it pushes you right away. Like, shit, like, you're like, what the fuck was that? Because it didn't click. But when you went near the positive energy, it just made it bigger, and now there's 2 positive people, and it just, things are much brighter. But when you go near a negative person, it just like pushes you away, and like, okay, and then it just gets dark again, and you just go on with your day.
Another perfect example of that, I'm sure, in your other job where you were at, when you would walk by a certain office where someone you didn't necessarily like, but didn't talk too much, but you felt the vibe. You
felt the energy.
You felt the energy,
yeah,
and regardless of whether you speak to them or not, you can just walk by the office and be like, ugh.
Yeah.
That bingo, that you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to walk in that office if you don't have to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, whereas if you walk down the hall of someone you know, and someone's got a positive energy, you're like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Exactly.
Boom. And as stupid and simple as that sounds, that's the basis of it. That's what it comes down to. Like, we want to be around positive, you know, energy. It is what it is. You know, it's
not trying to be selfish or anything. It's like, you know, why be somewhere where you don't like it? You know what I mean? It's like, if you're wearing the same T-shirt every day and it starts smelling bad, are you gonna keep wearing it? No, you're gonna take it off and you're gonna shower. And, like, you know, it's like, why get stuck somewhere where you're not comfortable? You know what I mean? And like, you know, people, you know, it goes back to, oh, no, you know, we can't be comfortable all the time. Obviously not, But you know,
No,
you
but
keep moving forward.
but positive and comfortable. You know, what I mean,
maybe I messed up there.
no,
but,
it's okay.
yeah. But you know, what I'm trying to get at is, you know, you keep moving forward and you keep trying to go where, you know, get that positive sense of energy, and because it feels good. You know what I mean? I think that's where I made the confusion of being comfortable, but it feels good, you know, and it's,
For sure.
it is a sense of comfort technically, because you know,
Definitely.
when you're around good people, you just feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
and things. But if you're near bad people, you're not comfortable.
There you
You're
go.
gonna so you're not comfortable. You're gonna move.
You're gonna bounce.
You're gonna bounce.
That's right.
So now it goes back to the thing. So you're uncomfortable now
There you go.
because you don't like to be in negative situations. Let me
Mhm.
leave. Let me go somewhere where it's comfortable,
That's
and you'll
right.
keep moving. So it doesn't stop, and
Mhm.
you keep going.
Now the problem with that negative person though is that they get left alone,
They get left alone,
and that feeds their negativity.
and it feeds it.
So you see that it's a vicious cycle.
But it sucks because you can't, like, you know, you'll try to help them out, or you know,
Yeah.
try to change their perspective, but it's not gonna work.
No.
And they might end up making you negative.
This is it, right? And it's got to come from within. It
Yeah.
has to, you know. And and that was one of my biggest frustrations and one of my biggest drives to do this shoot was that I kept trying to help people on a one-to-one basis, and
Yeah.
I would end up almost diagnosing people because I've been through so much therapy that I got good at it for a while. Like for just as an example, my therapist, who we did the most work with, she ended up moving on, leaving the hospital, and finishing her doctorate based on the work we had done together.
Okay.
So this is how much progress I made, right? So I find myself at times diagnosing people at work and being like, "You and I should talk sometime," you know. Like, and but then I mean, you get people's egos get way in front of all that, you know. So I found myself kind of chasing my own tail, you know, like, oh, I can't really help anybody. Nobody wants to be helped, yada yada yada. And I gotta take this to a bigger scale, you know, a lot like with you and your podcasts. You know, you'd have good conversations with people, but you wanted to take something to the next level so that people had access to it. You know?
And I think that's what you're trying to do, because you realize,
Exactly.
you know, you realize when you're trying to go help people don't want to help
No.
because,
No.
but if it's there,
And if it's on them, people want to make decisions for themselves.
Exactly.
So if you can convince someone that it's their idea, they're on board.
Exactly.
They're on board 100%. They don't even know why they're on board, but they're on board
Because it's their idea.
because it's their idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, and I thought to myself, well, I can't force feed it to them. You know, I can lead a horse to water, but you know, it's not going to drink.
It's not going to drink. It's going to drink if it wants to drink.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I've been a huge hip hop fan since I can remember. And one of the reasons why I was such a fan about hip hop was that it was poetry, but it was honest poetry. It put emotions out there, and if you couldn't ignore it.
Yeah.
You know, it was in your face. It was blatant.
It was loud.
It was loud, but it had grit. It was there for you to absorb if you wanted it to absorb.
Exactly.
You know. And I figured, well, how could I do that? I mean, I can't really rap about being bipolar. I mean, I could rap about being bipolar, but I'd end up, you know, probably only doing one album because there's only so much you can say about being bipolar, right?
Yeah.
But then I figured, well, I'd be better off going visual. You know, visual representation it's got a lot of impact. You know, it says a lot. You know, a picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So I kind of used this as my debut album. You know, like my
to introduce this problem.
You know, to give people out there something to look at and go, well, you know what, maybe that could be me. Like that. I feel like that sometimes.
Just
you know?
gives
like,
somebody a perspective. Yeah.
You know, and
but how long did this process take? You know, to realize that this, you know, you wanted to do this, right? Take a photo. And
Christ, over a year and a half, I think.
Over a year and a half.
Yeah, it was a long process because I had to book with the hospital. I had to get their permission, and that was a conversation, boy.
Oh, that's another conversation.
When you sit down with your therapist and you're like, look, I want to take nude photos in the hospital, and you know,
they're like, are you sure?
She was like, we have to adjust your meds, John. You know?
Like, no, I'm not crazy. Like, hear me out.
Well, I am crazy, but I got a prescription, so it's okay. You know,
no, you're not crazy, man, dude. You know, society labeled you
100%. 100%.
Everyone's normal in own ways. You know, what is normal? There's no such thing as fucking normal, man.
There is no normal. There is no. If you can show me normal, I'd love
I'm gonna say that's abnormal, man.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be honest with you, because you can't. Dude, we all have our flaws.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's perfect? Nobody's.
No one's perfect.
Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, like nobody's perfect. And then it's like, if that's perfect, then there's something else past the perfect. You know what I mean?
This is
always a flaw. Like, he's too perfect. Like, well, Does that even make sense? Like he's too perfect?
right?
Like that's his flaw because he's too perfect?
you know, like to fault. Like, does that make any sense at all? So,
No, but
But-
yeah. So it took
but
you
she
a year
was,
and a half.
yeah, a year and a half of talking to the hospital, getting things organized. I had to get in touch with a gentleman named Ray Barilaro, who was, I got to tell you, Mo, this guy, it's actually a funny story too.
Yeah.
My grandfather worked at the hospital,
Okay.
the Douglas Hospital. in
Douglas
Verdun.
Hospital.
He was head of groundskeeping.
Okay.
Groundskeeping. We lived in Verdun, and we would have to go to school via the hospital, meaning we lived on the opposite side of the hospital. We'd have to cross the hospital grounds to
Okay.
get to school every morning.
Okay.
My grandfather worked there, and my cousin's uncle was in laundry.
Yeah.
So every day we'd have to cross the yards, and there's tunnels. There's about 2-point-something kilometers of tunnels underneath this building.
Okay.
Our family worked there, and so we knew the access points. We knew how to get in
And get out.
and get out, right? But that meant walking around with patients exposed, like in their, birthday suits or whatever, and their gowns or
Yeah.
whatever, walking around, drooling everywhere. So I kind of grew up with that stigma already, like looking at these patients as I walk by them going to school, going like, wow, look at these zombies,
Yeah.
like, wow, that's crazy, like, wow. Only then to years later walk in and get diagnosed, right?
Full circle, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
Like, so anyways, my grandfather retires from there, he passes away, and I'm talking to my therapist, and she says, look, we have to get in touch with media relations.
Yeah.
So media relations gives me this guy, Ray Barilaro,
Yeah.
who just so happened to have gone to school with my mother
Mother.
in Verdun, who knew my grandfather. So it was just like it's funny.
Dude, life works in
Mo, it was like those scenes in a movie where like, like it was so, for lack of a better term, it was so fucked up. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
it didn't make sense. I'm like, he's like, who's your mom? I'm like, Susan Howard. I used to live over here. He goes, oh yeah, I went to school with Susan Howard. I'm like, oh, my grandfather. He's like, oh yeah, Ernie. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, dude, what the hell?
What the hell, right? So he's
you were right here the whole time?
the whole time, right? So, and now he's in charge of all media relations, meaning that he takes all the photographs for
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah.
He's in charge of all the anything to do with media relations. So within 5-10 minutes, him and I are going like about family, this and that, and he shows me all the key points in the hospital, so I don't have to go searching around for them.
Yeah.
He helped me out with everything. My photographer, the helping us on the scene. This man made this situation go from being remotely almost impossible to a walk in the park.
Walk in the park.
Like, he opened his arms, let me use some of his equipment, showed me where to go, talked to some of the spirits in the building. Like, he was on point. You know? And basically made this happen in ways that I could have never done without him. I hope one day that I can show him how thankful I am, because it was almost like having a member of my own family there with me.
Yeah, and helping you through this whole
it. Yeah, like,
and
it was.
And you know how crazy it is? You didn't have there's no money spent or anything.
Nothing.
It was just good deeds,
Good
helping
vibes.
people, good vibes, helping other good vibes, making it more amazing.
Yeah. Which played into the whole emotion of it all. You know, we actually managed to catch an apparition too in one of the pictures. I'll show it to you later. It's quite impressive.
The trippy shit. Yo, man, I'm in a basement, man. It's all this crazy stuff. But, dude, okay, so while we're talking about that, so what do you think about sleep paralysis? Because me and my cousin had a conversation about this, I think on like 2 episodes ago. And he was talking about sleep paralysis, and then it's so funny because he was talking about it, and then, like a week after, I had a few. My brother, he just came back from Cancun, and he was telling me one of his friends there had sleep paralysis, and then one of my other friends told me he experienced the same thing. In terms of demonic presence. That's what they explained to me what sleep paralysis, and then I agree with them because I had those times when I was younger when
Okay.
it happened. But it's so funny. I started fucking Facebook. Everything knows. Cause it's so funny. I was just right before you came. I was just on Facebook and I seen somebody post it. Oh, sleep paralysis, and I'm like, oh my god, like I just talked about this 2 weeks ago, and it's happening to everyone. It's like what, like like how crazy. But so what's so
Listen,
have you ever had it?
I've never had it, but I will tell you a brief story. I'll take a quick joke first, though. Listen, if I could stay asleep long enough to have sleep paralysis, I'd be happy.
Okay.
That's if I could buy sleep, I would. I did, however, one time, and I do have a witness to back this story up. Woke up, with blood-riddled hands. So much so that it was in my cuticles. Now, it was in March.
Okay.
Cat was still alive. I never left the building because there was no snow, no prints in the snow.
Okay.
But I came to, like I said, I woke up the next morning and my hands looked like I had drenched them in blood for hours.
What the fuck?
To the point where when I went to work that morning, they sent me home because it looked that messed up.
Yeah, and it's like all in the
It
fingers.
was in my fingers, in the skin, like I literally, and I let my hands like just rest in a pool of blood. Now, no explanation, no nosebleed, no blood in the house anywhere else, just on my hands.
And you're home the whole time.
Home the whole time. Now, if I did leave by the back, I didn't check, whatever, but it's a grim possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
I don't know if that's
it's
a
just
sleep paralysis type situation,
yeah,
but
that's just for this conspiracy people. But yeah, man, it's dude, it's
I believe in spirits.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
and I believe in the religion of Islam. We do believe in the spirits too.
Hell
So,
yeah.
so that's why I never fucking watch Exorcist. Never. Like no, hell no. I'm like not watching that shit. Not watching that. I don't give a shit if you call me a pussy or whatever. Not watching that. Because I remember when I was younger, my cousin would always one of my cousins would always scare me with Exorcist. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, oh shit, oh yeah, we're Muslim. We believe in spirits. I'm like, yeah, man. Based on a true story, yeah. For anything that's based on a true story in the horror movie, yeah, forget that. I'm gonna walk the other way. It's so funny. So because I remember one day I was watching TV upstairs, and so commercial came on. During Halloween time, always those scary movies come on, and they're like based on a true story. And then the movies, and then the trailer started playing. I was like trying to switch the remote. The remote fell on the floor. Batteries fell out. I'm like, oh my god, I can't switch that. I just ran to the kitchen. I'm gonna wait like 2-3 minutes. Still, the commercial ended, and I come back. I'm like, oh my god, what the hell? But that's crazy because people I spoke because my friend that I spoke to last week, and he was telling me when he experienced sleep paralysis, it's like what me and my cousin were talking about on the podcast. It's like a demonic presence. So he told me he was there lying on his bed, but couldn't breathe. Felt like something was on top of his chest. I was like, yo, dude, that shit's scary as hell. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. It's like, and you're so vulnerable at that point.
it's awesome.
The awesome show, man. You crazy, man.
Now, think about it for a second, though.
Okay.
That's how strong the spirit is.
Yeah.
That's how strong our spirit is.
Yeah.
And it gets back to the whole positive negative thing. If someone died negatively with stress and anxiety, that may be
the reason why it's there.
It's coming out that way. You know what I mean? Someone from that side stuck in this miserable mind frame and this trying to get back into here, trying to say something, trying to, free themselves to a certain point,
Okay, speaking of that, dude, it just clicked in my head because, maybe people have sleep paralysis because of stress and all that.
Exactly.
So maybe it's like a warning, dude, don't stress, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, must keep sitting on your chest.
No, but think about
but
that.
No, but
man.
that made sense because now it just clicked in my head because, look, I try not to be stressed out, so I don't really have it. I don't remember the last time. But it made perfect sense because now it just clicked in my head because maybe that negative apparition is there just to let the person know, like, dude, I know you're stressing out. Because most likely people, from what I understand from the people from my friends and family members that tell me they experience sleep paralysis due to stress, right?
See?
And so probably all the negative shit going on in their head. And then there's a way for the apparition to just get in contact to let them know, look, who knows? Maybe that person no, I'm just there fucking with you guys, who knows, but
I'm sure they're loved ones.
Yeah, there's loved ones for sure.
I'm sure they're loved ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
And there's a reason for everything.
Exactly.
You just got to find the reason.
And if it wakes you up and it makes your breakfast taste a bit better,
Yeah.
then there you go.
Exactly.
Because you're going to appreciate life
Yeah.
a little bit more.
A little bit more.
There's nothing like getting scared.
No.
Because scared, right after you're scared,
You're not trying to go through that thing. It's like, let's say, like, forget about like spirits and that. Like in a scary situation, like let's say maybe you're downtown or whatever, and then you get involved in a fight. And it might be a scary situation because you're not exposed to that all the time. You're gonna next time it puts you back in perspective. Like, okay, yo, that was a scary situation. I don't want to be back in that situation. And you find ways not to go back, right?
that's exactly what I'm talking about. My favorite scene in Fight Club. I don't know if you remember Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club. Yeah, the movie's awesome.
When they take the store owner to the back and they get him on his knees and they put a gun to his head.
Mm.
And they're telling him, what are you gonna do tomorrow? Tomorrow you're gonna go register for school. Blah, blah, blah. And then the store owner takes off, and Edward Norton says to Brad Pitt, like, "What'd you do that for? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt looks at him and goes, "Tomorrow morning, that guy's breakfast is gonna taste phenomenal. He will never live life again for the rest of his life the same way."
Same way.
And all it took was having a gun point to his fucking head,
And
And as scary as that is, as scary as it was to put naked photos of myself on the internet, I know that when that one person comes to me and says, "John, you changed my life," the next morning, my breakfast is going to taste fucking amazing.
Right on, brother.
You know what I mean?
Like, I agree with that.
That's what it's, because as you said, sometimes we have to walk on both sides, on the very edge, to really see and understand. Like, hey, man, like, this could really suck, man. We should really be appreciating what we have. We're not in Irma's wake. We're not in Jose's wake. We're not in these tropical storms' mercy.
Exactly.
Like, we're doing fine. Like,
appreciate it. And
I saw a picture of a kid eating out of a cow's ass.
Where was this?
On Facebook. It was one of the most disturbing things in the world. And the kid was eating the poop out of the cow's ass because he didn't want it to drop to the ground. Because if it dropped to the ground, it would contaminate itself with foot and mouth disease. So the kid's shoving his face up a cow's ass just to make sure the shit he's gonna eat is fresh.
And think about the luxuries we have, right?
Yeah.
And what we complain about. Oh shit, no Wi-Fi password.
Oh my God.
Like, life's over. Like, no.
I'm not gonna mention his name, but my cousin's in the military, and
Okay.
he did a couple of tours in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, "John, I've never been more changed than when I'm walking in the streets in Afghanistan, and these kids are coming up to me in droves, and they're saying, 'Thank you, thank you, thank you,' because they know if they see Canada that they're safe.
Okay.
They're going to protect them,
Yeah.
So, and he goes, "But John, these kids have nothing. They have no shoes on their feet. They have their soccer balls or plastic balls wrapped up." Like, he goes, "But the smiles on these kids' faces when they see us." He goes, it would just give me such perspective onto what we have, what we think our lives are like, how complacent we are, and how we're, like, oh, life, this is wrong.
No.
But in reality, man, we are
so great. We must be so grateful.
Like, oh my God, like, I mean, my daughter gets an appointment if she's sick, like the day or the day after she needs it,
Yeah.
And I think about so many kids elsewhere who don't even have access
to
healthcare like that,
Exactly.
And it's like, how can I possibly? I mean, the Quebec government, I can go on all day, like we can all go on all day,
exactly.
right? But at the same time, man.
Yeah, if you take that negative situation of complaining about it and we put it back into perspective, like you're saying, like, no, we gotta be grateful. Like, we're probably waiting a bit. People are waiting their whole lives for it, and it's too late for them.
Yeah.
Like, I know sometimes it gets stressful situations, but do we lose our composure or do we keep it? That's what
comes down to,
Yeah, and you're talking about that kid eating out of the
it's such a disturbing photo.
Yeah,
man.
and I remember when all that Syria thing was going on and all those media coverage, and I remember I see kids, I'm eating, and the kid is crying. He's like, "I'm eating expired bread because I just need to survive." And that touched my heart so much. I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, there's so much to be grateful for. And I'm complaining, I don't have this. Like, it happens. I'm not going to say I'm perfect because,
none of us are. No one are.
But, I try as hard as I can, to be appreciative of everything I have. Sometimes I lose sight of it.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to, but it happens sometimes, and like, that's why I love the month of Ramadan. Maybe I'm not completely religious, like, let's say, like the whole year round.
Mm-hmm.
But that 1 month, that's when it lets me self-reflect.
It's cleansing.
Cleansing. And it's so funny because a lot of times, people I speak to, and they're like, oh man, you don't do this, you do that, you break the rules, you don't pray 5 times a day, you don't do this, why do you fast? You know what I mean? You don't fast. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I do it because it's one time of year, and and what from my knowledge of what it's supposed to represent is like, yes, we make mistakes, everything, but that one time of year, take the time to really appreciate it. And and the month of Ramadan is such a heartwarming feeling. Like, oh man, aren't you hungry all day, dude? I'm not even thinking about that. It's like,
it's so funny you say that, Mo. There's this kid Muhammad lives right in front of me.
Okay.
And the entire month of Ramadan, I come home from the gym, whenever he'd be sitting on his front balcony, I'd go and sit and chat with him, and I in my head, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, this guy's I feel so bad. He's probably hungry as hell. I'll go, chew his ear off for a bit just to kind of take his mind off things. Yeah. He kept me in a good mood. He was so positive, so, hey,
Peace
John, so zen, so cool. And I'm thinking to myself, this kid hasn't eaten in 3 weeks, or whatever,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean? And I'm like, I would be crawling the walls. I would be homicidal if you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And this beautiful kid, Muhammad, he's in his early 20s. I love this kid. He lives right in front of me. He would chew. I would sit in front of him. He would chew my ear off, tell me stories. Oh man, it was absolutely eye-opening. Because I'm like, here I am thinking bad. I'm thinking, I feel bad for this kid, when in reality, he's doing better than I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in his head, like in his spirit, in his being, like,
feels amazing.
Yeah, and it was like, you know what? I love it. I love that whole idea of the mind over the body, cleanse it,
and it's like that month, like maybe like the first 2 days are hard, but after that, it's not even hard no more.
Oh man.
And then I always get, oh man, aren't you hungry? Aren't you this? I'm like, nah, not really. You know what I mean? You keep telling me about it. It's like,
the more you talk about it, the more I want to eat something.
Yeah, no, but like, it's like, oh, but you don't do this too. I know I don't do a lot of things, but let me do what I can.
That's right.
That's all I could do.
That's it. And that's okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what drives you. If that makes it okay then that's exactly what you do. That's
Yeah, so that month of Ramadan is so humbling. So I appreciate food.
That's awesome.
That glass of water, like at the end of the day, dude, it's so funny because I'm such in this rush, what I mean? Oh, working every day, come home, gym, blah blah blah, but that glass of water during Ramadan, it's the most I don't realize how much I do not appreciate it whatsoever. I sit down, drink it, and oh my god, like so refreshing. You know what I mean? And like, people are like, oh man, you can't drink water all day. I'm like, yo, dude,
you don't understand.
There's people in the world that don't even have access to clean water.
That's right.
Just take a moment to think about. I know you do, but like for listeners, take a moment to think about that. We have clean water. We waste water every day. I do waste water here or there, but I don't do. But it's like during that month, you don't waste anything. You finish everything that's on the table,
and you appreciate it.
You and think of how funny this is. We don't even spend time with our family eating dinner all the time. Like nowadays,
who does?
I'm there sitting down in the basement, or I'm upstairs eating, and I'm on my phone. My mom is doing her thing. My sister's doing her thing. My brother, everyone's doing their own thing, But then when it's the time of Ramadan, you have to sit together because everyone's breaking the fast at the same time. And then you realize you missed this 11 months out of the year.
That's right.
So, we take that one time to all sit down and eat together. And
I love it.
What an amazing feeling, and we lose sight of things that are actually amazing because we're lost in our own bubble. We're lost on our phones, looking at it 24/7. But that time of year, that's one time of year I just have to sacrifice. I can't sacrifice 1 month when people are sacrificing every day.
Right.
I'm like, okay, you don't have to do it. It's fine. Like, people in general. It's like, you just do it if you want to do it, if you feel good. Nobody tells you don't have to do it or not.
That's
you do
right.
whatever it tells you inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it almost that much enjoyable.
Yeah.
Is because it's you. You're doing it for you. You're not doing it for anybody else.
No.
You're doing it for you.
Yeah.
So the rewards are yours.
Yeah.
The benefits are yours. As you said before, that glass of water.
Yeah.
During the rest of the year, that glass of water won't taste half as good.
Exactly.
But for that month, that water is like gold.
Yeah, so think about the people that don't have water.
That's
they get
right.
a chance. So like when people are eating expired bread or whatever they could, they're scarce resources, they appreciate it more. And we just look at it, and like we don't take the time to appreciate everything. But it comes back to perspectives and how people are brought up or what they see or what they learn or what they choose to learn.
There you go.
They choose to learn. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, exactly. People choose to learn.
That's right.
If you have so I always give this example. I don't know. We've been giving so many examples. They're like, yo, these guys teaching a class or what? But I like, when I give advice to people or whatever, when I try, I tell them, I'm like, it's not everything. Or like even this episode of podcast, it's not everything. You're not gonna you're not gonna receive everything in your head.
No.
I don't know the word exactly, but it's the same way. If you have a teacher teaching class, a professor, you could complain, oh shit, it's a crappy professor, I'm not learning anything. But the other student next to you, like, oh, no, I learned so much. I love his teaching method. There's so many different ways, so many different perspectives. You just have to find what works for you.
That's right.
And and like maybe this podcast doesn't, maybe there's another one that does, and it's just you find what works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of us are still searching.
Yeah, searching. But as long as you're searching.
That's right.
A lot of people give
actively,
up.
yes.
Actively.
Not just your phone searching for a Wi-Fi connection.
Damn it. Like, what's the Wi-Fi password? But it's sad, man. That's the truth, dude. It's like, yeah. But yeah, so what do you call it? So where can people find these photos? But you said it's confidential. So
Well, it's not necessarily confidential.
At the moment.
I'm not sure, because there's a few outlets I'm going to ship them to.
Okay.
And I also have to speak to the hospital because I know the hospital wants to use a few of them.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to run through the proper channels first.
Yeah.
But you definitely will have. There's no question. You will definitely have 2 or 3 to post and put as a reference to
Yeah.
and a link to know where else we can find them. So
no, you'll find me like I'll be posting this on my social media on my Instagram mobox_podcast.
Well, I will also be starting an Instagram page soon as well.
Yeah, so we won't give the name because then somebody might try to take it right now. They're like, yo,
exactly.
That's my name. You're like, damn it, Mohammed, why? But yeah, no. So once you have everything, set up, I'm definitely going to provide.
We could even do another episode, actually.
Dude, you think it's one more episode? Dude, there's 20 more episodes. Dude, I know we didn't even touch half the things that we could talk about. You know what I mean?
We could talk about anything, guy. We could talk about space. We could talk about hip hop. We could talk about
dude, man. You're coming out again. You make it seem like it's only one more episode. If you want to come for only one episode, fine with you. You're definitely going to be a guest regularly, man.
Babakis appreciates that. I'd love to come back, man.
Dude, this conversation was so amazing, man. Like I can't even get to start. Like, dude, I wish people, because people going to be like, damn, man, 2 hours long. What are these guys talking about? so that and I want to.
That's a lot of jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber, exactly. Like I'm gonna just cut to 15 minutes. What bipolar? Oh, let me skip this. What
naked pics? What?
What? Like the dick pics? What? What religion, huh?
Say what? No,
but nah,
crazy.
dude, man, this was an amazing conversation, man. I was so happy you came through. Like, yo, you're coming on for sure. Like, so many more times, man. Dude, there's so much to talk about. And you're so interesting, dude. And it's so hard to share those stories you shared. And and I'm so happy you were able to come on and share your experience. And I really appreciate it. And it's because it gets hard.
It is. It's hard, man.
Because those things are not sensitive. Those
it's
are
not
very
easy to
sensitive
talk
topics.
about, man. Yeah, it's not because it affects a lot more people than we realize.
Exactly.
I mean, the stats say that 1 in 5, right, are affected with mental health, but the other 4 are affected, whether they know it or not.
Exactly.
Because
in a different way, that's it.
Exactly. It's a ripple effect. You drop a stone in a pond, and you get every action affects every other action. So, when we first talked about this, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome, like I can't wait.
Me too, man. I think the same thing.
And the other side of me was like, oh, yeah, wait a minute, though. Like, this is really going to open up the
I won't lie. I was thinking about that, too. I was just like, people might take this shit the wrong way. I'm like, we don't know what we're going to talk about. I know, because you and me, we think the same. Like, I'm going to be honest, we think the same way.
Yep.
And it's just for clicking. And look, that's why freaking 2 hours went by. I had no clue. 2 hours. It's just comfortable and and it feels good. It's
good chat, man.
Dude, it's amazing chat. Like not good, it's amazing, dude. And and it takes a lot of courage to come and share your stories. And like, okay, we know each other from the gym, but how personally do we know each other, right?
I hear you.
But you were so comfortable enough to share your story with me, and the internet here but it means something, right?
It does.
Because if I had like I'm not trying to be douchey about myself or anything. Like if I had bad energy, you would have knew.
I would have never even accepted this.
Dude, we wouldn't even spoke about it. I don't even
This
think
is
you would
it.
come to my house.
Exactly, right? And that in itself is an example
Yeah.
as to what just two positive mind frames can do. Like, when you get that positivity combined, you know,
It clicks.
it's clicks. I mean, I don't want to sound too little boyish, but it's almost superpower-ish.
Superpower, man.
Like
you're wearing Superman shirt.
I'm wearing Superman shirt for a reason,
Yeah.
Like as subliminal as that is,
It is.
I needed to feel a little bit superpower-ish tonight,
I had my
because
Superman comic on my table. It just
Right?
It's
Like-
just like how things work so funny. And like what I mean? We have common interests and things click.
and when you get that together, they become a superpower.
Exactly.
Just as much as negativity, when it's put together with negativity,
Supervillain.
becomes a supervillain.
So who's Superman? You're Superman. I'm Batman. Not too late, man. You're wearing the Superman shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
wearing
right.
black right
Damn,
now, so
damn.
too late.
You're right. I prefer to be the Flash, to be honest with you. though.
Flash is awesome.
Yeah, the Flash is awesome. I'm gonna better run so fast that I can stop time. Like that's where it's at, right?
That's what
Like
dude.
go backwards to live in the Woodstock era. Like, when life was simple. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Like
get high every day and just chilling.
right? Like
So are you stoked about the new Flashpoint? They're actually making a movie.
they're gonna do the Flashpoint movie.
They're gonna do the Flashpoint.
I'm so stoked
I'm
because
stoked.
I'm so excited that they're gonna give what. I mean, Flash is one of the most underrated superheroes out there.
Exactly.
Like, and if you really think about it, he's the most dangerous because
He is.
Homeboy could just run backwards
Yeah.
long enough in time
And change.
just change
Everything.
everything.
If you just want to fuck with things, but he doesn't.
You could not be born. Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of like he could change how your destiny went. Like, and people don't understand that. So I'm glad they're going to do a full length film of this.
I'm excited, but I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
Cause, dude, man, they fuck things up, man. Like
Yeah.
the stories I love, like that's why I love the animated movies, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's some.
You seen Bad Blood
Bad Blood?
with the whole family?
Bad Blood.
Damien, Dick, the whole.
Oh yeah. What do you call it when Batman went missing? Right?
Yes.
That's one.
Yes.
That one was all right.
And Dick played Batman for
yeah,
a while.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
That was awesome,
That was
man.
no, dude, the guy who did I forgot the actor's name who did the voice of Dick Grayson, but that guy's the
Yeah.
perfect Dick Grayson voice ever. But dude, which one? One of my favorite ones, Under the Red Hood.
Yes.
Dude, that movie was so deep, man. It's like so. I had a discussion with in the last podcast about it, but damn, that movie was so deep. Like obviously, I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody, but damn, man, like
And there are so many issues. There's so many things we can take for. I know it sounds ridiculous to be comparing life to an animated film,
But there's so much.
There's so much to learn from that. There's so many lessons there.
There's
There's
so
so
many
much.
lessons. What do you call it? I'm trying to think of a good movie. Or like, okay, here the one Justice League and the what's it? Justice League and the Legion of Doom. I think that was a movie where Vandal Savage, character Vandal Savage. So this man, you watched it, right?
Mhm.
So he basically he was a caveman time, and then later that that mystical asteroid hit, and then he got superpowers from it, and he lived for centuries and millennia. He lived for so long, and he came to a point he experienced everything, to a point where he realized, you know what, fuck this. It's like this, because he had everything, money, everything, he has everything, but he has no purpose. You know what I mean? So think about it. So think about people that are so rich, you have everything. You want to get things that you can't have. And what he didn't have is control. And he wanted to blow up the planet and then control with an iron fist. You know what I mean? So think about if you put that into perspective, think about all the rich people that are out there in the world. Obviously, I'm not trying to generalize because it's wrong for me. There's nice people out there and nice rich people.
Sure, there has been, but how many billionaires are out there and we have no Batman yet?
Exactly, no Batman. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a good example actually, because if you take death out of the equation,
Yeah.
life becomes absolutely meaningless.
Exactly.
Absolutely meaningless.
Dude, if there's no death, and like I remember when I was younger, I'm like, oh shit, I want to be immortal. You know what I mean? I'm
No,
like,
you don't.
like now fuck no, because that's so depressing. Because think about it, you're immortal. I remember doubts all I wanted because the reason I never wanted, because when I was younger I remember watching Lion King 1, and when Mufasa died, Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, for real.
But not even spoilers.
If
You
that's a
should have
spoiler for someone,
you should have watched Lion
you know
King.
what I mean?
Like, yeah, but I remember that specific scene when Mufasa died.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was like, and you know, I thought I was Simba, my dad was Mufasa, and me losing my father, I'm like, oh shit, I can't live without my father. You know, like that's how I was when I was younger. And I'm like, no, if I was immortal, you know, we'd be all alive forever. And I like always wanted to be immortal. But then later, you know, growing older, I'm like, shit, no, man, I don't want to be immortal. It's like there's no point because there's gonna be. It's like, what is there to live for?
Exactly.
And you can't even use the term live for.
No,
You're not
because you just exist. You don't
just
like,
exist.
I mean, it takes the meaning out of absolutely everything. And,
Exactly.
and that in itself defines the fact that if you, what's more permanent than death?
Yeah,
Nothing, right? There's
Nothing.
no coming back from it. It's the scariest thing out there.
exactly.
But if that's what it takes to give life meaning, then take from that. Understand that, okay, so if the scariest thing in the world is the only thing that gives life meaning, then I guess hard times are necessary to be happy.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to go through some shit to be happy with things. Like you have to suffer a little bit. You have to not eat for a month to enjoy that glass of water.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if you understand the concept of you do have to sacrifice something to appreciate something else,
Yeah,
then that equates to every other aspect of your life.
dude, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, and that should put some perspective onto, oh yeah, times are tough, but you know what? It's okay. Like it could be worse.
It could be
you know,
worse.
I need times to be tough for me to be able to appreciate what I have. You know, there is no creation without destruction. This is just life. There's no getting around that. Like, that's why the animal planet still works, because they understand that that's why death is still alive and well in the animal world.
Yeah,
You know, like if you mess up, there's no like, oh, you go to jail. No, you die.
you die.
That's it. You know, and that's why the animal planet still functions properly.
Exactly.
Because it respects death.
Yeah,
And in turn appreciates life.
life. I think that's a good place to end it off.
I'm with you, man.
So people, stay tuned. You know, if you follow me on social media, you'll definitely find
You
it.
better follow him on social media.
Yeah. But next time you come back on, people will be able to find your Instagram.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
But till then, it's a mystery.
Ooh, who was that masked man?
But no, John, amazing person. No, you are a Superman, honestly.
Babakis.
I like
Coming
what you-
soon.
coming
Babakis.
But no, me, like, dude, your story you shared, it was amazing. You know, and the message you're trying to portray, even more amazing.
I thank you.
And you know, you're trying to make a change in the world.
I
we
am.
need a lot of people like you. And
I
you're,
appreciate that.
and dude, okay, so people listening to Mo's Box. So when I'm gonna have it uploaded soon, this episode, and also on my social media page. Just if you follow me, Mo's Box _podcast. I know I sound so cheesy, but yeah, follow me if you want to see these photos and these amazing photos and this incredible journey that John went through, trying to describe his image of what he deals with on a regular basis and trying to help others out there.
That's right. Lend a hand.
So, you have any finishing words, John, before I end
Mo, I
this?
just want to thank you so much for your time.
Dude,
I
don't
can't-
even thank me, man. I thank you, man, dude.
I can't wait for our second session.
Dude, for sure, man.
And that's it. To everybody out there listening, all the best.
Smile.
Yes, keep smiling. Please, my God, keep smiling. Keep your heads up. Keep your eyes open. And be kind.
And stay tuned. So, thanks for listening to Mo's Box, and peace out, world.
Peace.